We are live on video. Standby for audio. All right. Good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So, yes, once again, we've got another new guest co-host for you coming on. And this young lady, we, as usual, started rapping for probably a good 5-10 minutes, and I forgot to hit record. So this happens, okay? So I'm just going to get right into it. She's the founder and CEO of Lately. That's right, Lately. And it's an AI, that's right, artificial intelligence people, powered marketing dashboard that's reinventing the marketing process to give individual marketers like myself the power to create and scale smarter, more consistent messaging. That's right, people, more consistent messaging. Get consistent with your email list and a lot more. So that is Lately Incorporated, people. So welcome to the show, Kate Bradley Chernis.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me. This is super fun. And so many of my loves are coming right into play in this exact moment, which I know you know about. We're going to talk about in a little bit, but it's pretty cool, actually.
So you are a fan of podcasting?
I am a huge fan. I love podcasting, and I also love theater of the mind in general. So, you know.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't think anybody has said those exact words the way you just said it. So we have to pause on that. Theater of the mind.
Sure.
Where are you going with that?
Well, so obviously I was in radio for many years. My last gig was broadcasting to 20 million listeners a day from XM satellite radio. So I was the music director for The Loft, which is not there anymore, but it was XM50 was that channel.
Okay.
And cool rock and roll music. So my whole career in radio was it's called Adult Album Alternative, which is it's the Rolling Stones and Talking Heads and Ryan Adams and Paul Simon and world music. And I'm old, so I don't know what's new in that genre anymore. But
wait, I'll be throwing old out there because I'm probably older than you.
Like Alabama Shakes, that would be something new, or like Newport.
I mean, we are here to talk to millennials and Gen Xers, and I'm clearly a Gen Xer. So I'm guessing you have to be a Gen Xer.
No, I'm 44.
Damn,
I mean, I guess I'm above.
I thought you were younger.
Oh, it's the eye cream, man. I've spent a lot of money on eye cream.
Okay.
You have to.
It's funny because when you say theater of the mind, it does kind of bring me back to like the late 70s and 80s type of thing.
Well, yeah. So exactly. It's this idea of me, whether it's the voice or writing, we'll do it too, right? Putting what's in trying to get what's in my brain into yours, but there's this bridge between it that allows you, the listener or the reader, to have control over the message and to then imagine it, right? To use it, I mean, it's silly, but using your imagination and like the power of the imagination. That's why reading, it's so much more powerful than watching TV, right? Because there's an activity. You're actively participating in the story by using your imagination. Mm-hmm. Right. So why radio or podcasting can be so beautiful in that way is because I get you. That's what those driveway moments are all about. Right.
The driveway moments,
you're
just dropping some interesting today. I love this.
Well, that's why so video killed the radio star is so true. Like we were just talking about this the other day, guys like Steve Miller, like those and Joe Perry, right? Those guys, thank God video didn't happen before them because they wouldn't have done so well.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No. Right. Joe Perry, no.
No, right. Sorry, Steve. But yeah. Anyway, so I love that. And I love that there's this, I mean, people imagine you by the sound of your voice, you can be anything on the radio. Like when I'm on the radio, I have a different personality or persona than I do in real life. So
it's interesting though, you bring that up, how people can launch a different personality, right? And when you just said that, but it's funny because I found that since launching this show over 2 years ago, that I actually like bringing more of the truth, more transparency, more honesty. Like sure. I don't want to have any walls up. And in the past couple of months, especially, I probably said some things on this show that I've never said ever. And I was like, it's fun. It's actually freeing because I just don't care.
Yeah, it's not a wall at all. It can be, I mean, it's whatever you choose to be in. And it's probably not the same person you are quite exactly in real life, right? There's something that you do to make yourself more eclectic or magnetic or whatever it is that you do. For me, that comes in the form of authenticity. So just to circle back here a little bit. So now I own a marketing agency, and I'll tell you that story. Or I owned a marketing software company before I owned a marketing agency. So radio, agency, software, that's the line. But the connection between radio is really interesting to me because, so one of the things I learned in radio was that silence is really powerful. Right. So what happens when there's silence on the radio? People turn it up. Right. So I used to use that blank space. I would make mistakes on purpose, for example, use my humanness, my authenticity to my advantage to make you more compelled, to make you feel like you had access to the person behind the microphone. So there wasn't this great divide between us. And then I would crack my voice so that I didn't sound too sexy because, that would not be working for so many women. I learned this and that. And so I learned to translate ideas like that into my writing and into my marketing. And that's actually what lately the software company that we were talking about helps marketers do as well, is like taking this idea, what's the power of trust that happens that I learned in radio by using these techniques that I can translate into how I write and do my marketing, that I can show other people. Because the idea is I built lately to give marketers the ability to scale their marketing like a huge marketing agency would for a fraction of the cost. Because I did this for Walmart and I'll tell you the story, in 20,000 small and medium companies, and I got them 130% ROI year over year for 3 years. So I know it works is the short story. So there's a lot of stories here, and I'm talking in a circle.
But it's not exactly a small story. It's like, Walmart. Walmart is an international company, multi-billion-dollar footprint, and even Walmart is going to make mistakes, and they need to try something different to make it all work. And you were clearly one of those people that was like, "Oh, didn't know we could do that."
Yeah, the story there. So try to get to briefly is well, here's the longest story. I'll make it fun. So here I was in radio. My body was screaming at me. We touched on this earlier. I had really crippling tendonitis, epicondylitis, and suddenly I had to use voice-activated software. This is 10 years ago, to try to do what everybody else does: is be online every day, use a computer. And I freaked out. My whole life was like, oh my God, how am I going to manage this? Wow. And I hired a coach to help me learn this software. And I also felt like there was some Me Too stuff going on. I don't have a face for radio, and man, the emails I have, you won't believe, from very famous.
Hold on, you don't have a face for radio.
That's what they say.
I can't skip over that, right? Because it's like, I've spoken on stage at a couple podcast conferences, and it's like, a lot of people are like, oh man, like you must do so well. I'm like, why? Like, oh, you're a pretty good looking guy. I'm like, thanks. But I was like, that has nothing to do with the audio world at all.
No, it only helps when
I show to video on YouTube. Well, then now I can say that, right? Because it's YouTube. So
yeah, it's handy when bands come in because they haven't seen generally a girl in ages, and then they whatever.
They're stuck touring and they get
just some free tickets.
Okay, wow.
So yeah. So anyways, I just felt constantly squashed. Like there was a lot of sexual harassment, which honestly was annoying. It wasn't so much bothersome as it was annoying. It was in my way. But what was more annoying was that I felt like I wasn't being listened to because I was a woman constantly. And so my body was just kind of screaming at me, this is a stressful situation, get out of it. And so I made a lateral move to a really similar situation at another company. And finally I was crying, and I just sucked as a person. I was so unhappy and constantly saying how much I hated my job. And my dad shook me by the shoulders and said, you can't work for other people. There's no shame in that. And I had this total aha because there was shame. I thought I was deeply disappointing my male bosses because I, wasn't doing what they wanted. I couldn't conform to their rules. So my husband gave me Guy Kawasaki's The Art of the Start that same week. You know that book? Great book. And I got to somewhere in the first chapter, like page 9, it says, don't make a plan, just get started. And I literally closed the book, and the next day I met my first angel investors who gave me $50,000 to start my first company.
Wait, I thought I did all the research. That was a next day thing?
That was the next day thing. This is all like in the span of 1 week. So like my life changed. I read The Secret actually that week too. Remember that book? It's like,
yeah, and the movie. And I joke around the show a couple times. Like first time I watched that movie, I was like, what is this hokey crap?
It's so bad. It's so bad. It was so awful. And I like read it and I was like, why am I reading this? But by the end, what I thought was like, oh my gosh, all that's coming out of my mouth is toxic badness.
Yeah.
I got to change that, you know? And so it was amazing because as I started my first company, it was a music tastemaking company. So it was like a mini radio show basically. And it was going well and we had a great listenership. And as I was marketing it, somebody else said to me, hey, you're really good at marketing this. How about we pay you a lot more and you can consult us and you don't have to listen to bad music anymore? And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And they put me on the Walmart account.
Wow.
So
okay.
That was that. So suddenly I have a marketing agency. And
well, let's pause real quick. How many clients did you have before that?
None clients.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a big deal.
Well, I was a fiction writing major, which some could argue is same as marketing. And of course I had written thousands of commercials in radio before. And I was a production director for a number of stations. So that's like, you're in charge of the commercials.
So you have experience as a content creator.
I do, yeah. And in sales, I was in sales, you know, promotion, that kind of stuff. And so with the Walmart account, I'm just super organized, Scott. Like my cupboards are awesome.
Oh, are you referring to the talent, as I like to call it, of being anal retentive?
Yes, that's the one.
yeah. My fiance gets upset with me when I throw things out. I'm like, if you haven't touched that in 2 years,
it's gone.
It can be donated. I mean, I'm a regular at Goodwill, man. I just drop it in, Salvation Army, Goodwill.
Exactly.
Haven't worn that in 6 months.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Somebody can benefit from that. That's how I justify it.
And it's rejuvenating, you know? So yeah, so exactly. And I organized things at XM and IBM. These are places that I'd worked where I helped organize metadata and different organizational systems for sometimes thousands of people to be collaborating on. So I understood kind of how those systems work. And so with the Walmart project, it was Walmart and United Way Worldwide and the National Disability Institute. So 3 national/global companies. And they were collaborating with 20,000 affiliates who were small and medium business or nonprofits, right?
Nice.
So 2 totally different kinds of marketers, you would think.
Yeah, it's a spectrum shift, but yeah.
Yeah, so I just started organizing everything that came onto my desk into a major spreadsheet. One hell of a spreadsheet.
My spreadsheet days.
The spreadsheet. Yeah. So what happened was, as I was organizing in the spreadsheet, we all started collaborating in the spreadsheet because suddenly it was the house for everything. It was not only what we were referencing, like maybe focus group information or past analytics, but then it became, okay, well, this is the key messaging that's going to guide the marketing for the product, for the project. So then, well, if we have to write social media copy or a press release, we need to reference the key messaging, and it's all right in this document. Let's make it here. And then logos, graphics, video, podcasts, radio scripts, table tent copy, like it was all living there, plus all the analytics across tens of thousands of channels.
Makes sense, because you want to be able to cross-reference easily and quickly.
I love you. Exactly. Right?
I mean, I just did this, like something as simple as a creative brief. Somebody launched their brand and they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, you need to define exactly who you are throughout this creative brief, because everything else that you do moving forward must tie back to this core content. And then as you build it out, I don't get it. It's all right.
Exactly.
I love you too. You're awesome. So
you're so awesome. So that's right. I mean, it's organization in that way, and having everything central is so incredibly valuable. Like, okay, so Tony Bourdain used to call it a neat mise equals a neat mind. And by mise, he means mise en place. So that's like a cooking term. It means put in place. And it's that thing that cooks do beforehand, chefs do. They prep all their stuff in those neat little bowls, you know, on their little stations. And then they can go and make the magic happen because they don't have to think about that stuff. Their mind is free to be amazing. And it's the
I
same
would
way.
do it just to impress a date. Like if I was,
Yes.
because I love to cook, so I would like lay it all out. I mean, yes, it might look a little anal retentive, overly organized, but it's like, there's your seasonings, so you get the salt, the pepper, and everything else. Like, I don't want the boring like plastic grinders. I want to have that stuff ready to go.
Have it already.
It looks like you're rocking the Chef Boyardee on steroids, and people are like, "Dude, you're taking this way too seriously." It's like you don't mess around when it comes to flavor.
That's cool. Like, I like that a lot. I don't know if anybody ever thought that spreadsheets would help them on a date so much, but definitely.
Hey, I was an analyst with T-Mobile, and I analyzed methods and procedures, and we built an entire intranet system called Streamline, which
Wow.
every single policy and procedure for the organization was in there, and
That's bananas.
we had to improve its navigation depending on, was general customer service accessing it, was tech support accessing it. So, and we developed process flows. Yeah, I was a geek.
I'm so glad we're friends, that we're separated at birth, man. This is crazy.
And obviously, you're from Vermont. I mean, I've lived in Colorado and Arizona. Like we can also, you can be outdoorsy and athletic, my friends. People hearing this, I mean, we're not like, you can be an athletic geek.
Yes, you can, right? You can be it all. That's true. That's so true. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, so that's another thing we should talk about is I love the idea of a female entrepreneur that's me, that didn't go to Harvard. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I'm obviously not wearing a suit, and I came from the music industry, and I was a line cook and all these things, because I hope that other women like that can find this career, this kind of life accessible. Like they don't have to go down they don't have to come from a different path,
I've had some powerful one girl's called Sexy Boss. I've had her on the show. That's the name of her book. Very, very confident, outspoken entrepreneur. So
wow, yeah, it's good.
I love stumbling across entrepreneurs like that, because my fiance, she's an entrepreneur. She's an equine horse vet, and her partner, who they founded their veterinary business, females. Their office manager, female. Their doctor they hired, female. So it's all girl powered. I'm the guy behind the scenes doing the but in the end, it's all that lady, and none of them wanted to be entrepreneurs. They didn't.
Wow. It's good for other women to know that anybody can do it. So anyways, back to organization, shall we?
Oh yes.
So with the Walmart thing, so my organizational system ended up getting 130% ROI year over year, which I think I mentioned, but I'm not sure, because that's an important thing to do. Okay. And so what was also interesting is, because I'm anal like you are, and I went and audited those 20,000 companies the second year, because I wanted to understand, did the marketing audit for them, what the skill level was that I was dealing with. And we did all kinds of workshops and this and that, because what I saw was major marketing 101 no-nos happening across the board. So like, I'm not surprised to see a small nonprofit down the street getting the tagline wrong, but Walmart corporate getting it wrong. Whoa, like, wow, what is that, right?
Okay.
And it was just because there was so many people, so much information, like no one was taking the care to do their mise en place, right?
It's just, again, I've not been in Walmart, but I mean, T-Mobile is still a massive organization.
Yeah.
ADP, I spent time with them, massive AAA rated corporation in the finance world. Dude, when you get big, problems happen. Like methods and procedures are crucial, because you need to have consistency. It's not just, I got to cross my T's and dot my I's. I'm like, yeah, but you got to times thousands, if not millions of employees.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really, it's really amazing, because behind it all, we're all just humans. Everyone's humans. And so the systems that we have to use together need to be able to be accessible. That's a really key thing, right? So there are other companies that have thought about organization, and they start at like $200,000, and they're take weeks of training and set up. And even the people who use them complain about them, because they're like, I can't even share this with my boss. That's the noise they make.
The T-Mobile call center world, their general customer service was a 7-week new hire training process.
Wow. 7 weeks.
Yeah. Now, imagine the money on that across 11 call centers in the nation.
That's unbelievable.
They were spending millions just to stick a new person in a call center seat to answer general customer service calls.
Unbelievable. Wow. That's a very eye-opening. Yeah. So, I mean, I think then speaking more to like accessibility and humanness, what we've learned as a company is that even though people like you and I, Scott, think that marketing organization is important and we understand the value of it, most people don't. It's not really a great, party line, opening line in a party. Like, what do you do? Marketing organization. So what we do instead is we have this little freemium tool, which I'm sure you've tried, called the auto generator.
Yes, I started poking around in there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a current customer now of again, trylately.com, by the way. I'm actually, I haven't done any screen sharing yet.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of respecting my guest co-host,
you can do screen shares?
I love, cool. Yeah, screen sharing.
Oh, yay. That's me.
This will be on YouTube. So awesome. Is that you in a cartoon form?
It is, yeah. Actually, if you go down to the bottom of the page and you click the About section, I'll make you laugh here real quick. So go all the way down.
I don't think I've actually clicked on that.
Click About, and then you'll see another one of those images on the left. See underneath the story?
Yeah.
See that image? Yeah, that's me. That's me. I was overwhelmed by my own spreadsheets.
This was Kate.
And normally I wear cowboy boots all the time, but I'm in my yoga.
Oh, I just noticed that. Look at that. Oh, you guys need to have them in brown. That way they stand out more.
Yeah, that's true. He's my designer. I actually wear blue ones, or green ones.
Oh, okay. You have green cowboy or cowgirl boots. So.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
So what we learned, Scott, was that we needed to get people more excited about organization in a different way. So have you ever written a blog, a newsletter, or a press release before?
Yes, and I hate writing.
Awesome. So for most people, they feel the same way, and it might take about 4 or 5 hours to do that. They put a lot into writing some content like that. And then
I'm trying to write a book right now.
That's a big one. You really got to plan that out. Awesome. I want to know more about it. So what we found is that usually people will write a blog and then they'll write a social post about it. Check out my blog. Like, that's it. Big waste of those 4 hours. So at Lately, what we do is we let you take a link to any article or blog, just paste it in our little auto generator, click a button, and in 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds, we go out and we pull out as many quotes as we can of the blog and turn them into social posts based on some artificial intelligence and natural language processing that looks at the keywords. We do some keyword weighting.
Yeah.
To try to do a couple things. Number one, help you repurpose something you spent a lot of time on and exponentially do a better job of marketing it, because why wouldn't you? 2, we're giving you something everybody wants, which is social media content. So it takes like the average person 12 minutes to write a social post, and they're usually not very good. And so we remove the fear of the blank page. Yeah, there it is, the generator.
Mm-hmm. I haven't played with this yet.
Oh, well, let's paste in the blog. Oh my gosh, now I'm nervous.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, you never know.
Let's do it live.
Do one. Do you have a blog?
Can I use a short URL? Yeah, I use like.
You have to use a blog to the link itself, though. You know what I mean? Like so.
So hold on. So I can just use. Oh, wait a minute.
Use one of ours.
Ooh, hold on a second.
You want to?
Hold on, just so they don't have to see the ugly navigation. I'll let you keep talking. I'm going to bring. I've been published now like 4 magazine articles over the past year. And
congratulations.
So yeah. Well, I figured put in the reps to figure out this author thing. That way it gives me closer to finally saying, oh, I hate writing and I'm going to write a book. So,
we just had one of our customers, David Allison. He just did a book launch a few days ago, and he used Lately to market it. And he was Amazon's #1 top seller by noon. And he said that Lately was the reason.
Really?
Because essentially, so we're giving you, what he did was he took the text from his book and copied and pasted it into Lately's generator.
The whole thing?
Well, chapters, different
areas. That's a lot of content.
Oh. It was a lot of content, but you definitely want to have like 4 or 5 social posts on Twitter a day, 1 on Facebook, 1 on LinkedIn. Like, you want to have a bulk. This is what giant companies do, right? So why can't you? That's what we've given you the ability to do.
Right.
Or like we have companies, small companies that have sales teams, and the sales teams want to do social media marketing and they don't really know how to do it. So the company will take one of their blogs and generate content and give it to the sales team to use. So,
okay. Yeah. So like I could take anybody's content. Like, so this is my recent article that was just released in, what is this? I don't know, whatever time of year it is right now. They just released it, and they just emailed me today saying, "Hey guys," because they have a digital magazine, then they have the print magazine. So they already mailed out the print. So I love the fact they have a digital. So this was the most recent article I published because I'm a health nut. The
Great.
Inner Circle of Health.
Where's the text? Okay, good. There's lots of text there.
Oh yeah, this is all this. So they want to have at least 700 words, but nothing too big. So it's not a huge one.
Let's try it.
Highlight and podcast, or I just use your URL.
You should just be able to use the URL. So let's see. Copy that.
Sometimes I don't like their sites. We'll see if it's actually good enough or not. Oh wait, hold on. I already have this. Where did I go? Oh, I left it.
Left up top. You got it up top.
What do you mean?
Straight up.
So wait, just regular everyday people can pop in here?
Well, this is the free version. It's not going to be as good as the one inside.
Well,
you can't do anything with this, but yeah.
Okay.
And click auto generate.
I didn't realize you let us use this for free.
Well, you can't do anything with it. So I'm just going to show you the posts, but you can't publish them or anything, right? It's just a teaser.
34 social posts auto-generated.
Dun-dun-dun. And like you don't have a short link here, right? Whereas you would inside the product. So and they're pretty good, right?
Okay. Oh, so if I was in my account, I would put it here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get short links.
Yeah. So go to additional options. Cool. And page down and click shorten links with Bitly.
Okay.
And then page up before you click edit and let's add a hashtag. So go up to the hashtags and add a couple of them.
So like health, I guess,
health tips.
Tips.
And just put a hashtag before each one.
Oh, okay. This is fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm learning to use their system live. But that's good though, because they can see I'm actually, a paid customer and I'm slacking. I'm not using this stuff.
Here you go.
I am very new. I just signed up like 2 weeks ago. So
that's good.
So health tips. Actually, I did talk about nutrition and I do talk about your network. So we'll say networking.
Great.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
And you can either have these go on every post just like that, or you can have lately rotate them. Do you want to rotate? Yep. Then you just have to put commas between them to make sure that happened.
Did I? No, I took the comma out.
It's okay. There you go. Add your commas. You're doing great, Scott. Awesome. And then you can just page down and click the auto generate button. And this is the part where I pray because it's a live demo. And I'm like, oh my God, please work.
That's the fun. It's transparency.
There we go.
So it looks like it's already found the source. So
yeah, page down. I think we should be there. There you go.
Yep, there we go. Oh yeah, so you guys use Bitly too? Oh,
we do. Yeah.
Can I sync this to my Bitly account?
Yes, you can.
Because I have a Bitly account.
You can sync it to your Bitly account. Yep, exactly.
Because that way I have the history of all these Bitly links in my Bitly account, right?
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can actually just look. We keep track of all the links here as well.
Okay.
For you. So those are a lot
here,
of
like look outside your normal. This would be one I would use. So
yeah, so you could edit any of these.
Yeah.
Which you can't do in the sampler version.
No.
You can add photos to them. Obviously, it's going to pull the photo that's already attached to the link. But if you wanted to, because you have
sort of a partnership with Unsplash or anything like that, because I love that site.
Not yet.
It's all professional photography you can access for free.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, coming soon. We've had that request actually, so that's a good one. And then let's just say, Scott, like you liked all of these, right? Yeah. So usually 80% of them are pretty good and ready to go. If you click that bulk schedule button on the right-hand side over there,
yeah,
you're not going to actually publish these, so don't worry. We'll do a test where it says 1 per day, etc. Click that and choose. Be like, say you want to do 2 a week or something.
So I can go through this list, make any tweaks and edits I want, add photos to all of them if I want, then pick my frequency.
Exactly.
Here's the hack though.
Yeah.
I know you guys are already working on this because I talked to your team. You guys are trying to get this to eventually work with Instagram because there's the hack, right?
Right.
It's easy on Facebook. It's easy on Twitter. It's getting through that whole Instagram interface. So I'm excited.
I'll tell you what the challenge is with Instagram right now. So Instagram is a Facebook company, and you have to apply to have a partnership with Instagram through Facebook. We did apply, and we've applied 3 times. Each time we were rejected without being told why. And so because I have lots of friends in high places, I badgered people to find out why. And each time we found out why and fixed it and reapplied. And then finally, when we were rejected the last time, we heard from a very high up VP at Facebook that said the reason we were rejected is because we're such a small company that nobody cares. right? And the companies that
They
have
don't realize your potential footprint impact.
That's right. Yeah. So we're still trying to exercise every power we have to get this partnership, but because we're not Hootsuite, we're not Buffer, we just are starting out and they don't know who we are. We just don't have, the grease
Oh my
yet.
God. I mean,
Yeah,
I've already got 5 people I want to tell about this that are marketers, because I know one for sure will definitely use this, because I just got done doing some voiceover for her new podcast. I was like, I'm not a voiceover by the way. She's like, I really like your voice. You do the voiceover for my show. And I'm like, what? She's like, what do you charge? And I said, I don't do it as a service. She's like, well, give me a quote. I'm like, how about you just make a donation to my favorite charity? It's my first show. Because in case I screw it up, I was like, I'd rather not charge you for bad voiceover.
You should. There's really good money in that.
There is.
I still do it.
If people really want to hear my voice day in and day out on a podcast, oh wait, that's my subscribers.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, so if you know anyone who is at Facebook, I believe that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I continue to be very squeaky about this. But here's the good news. Even on Instagram, we'll actually create all the posts for you for Instagram the same way you just did, and we'll put it in a queue, and we'll ping you, and you can manually put them in Instagram. So
that's okay.
It's not ideal, but we're still.
How long have you guys been out now?
We've been in market for 1.5 years.
I played around with your stuff a year ago. I knew it. It was a year ago, because somebody's like, oh man, you want to tackle Instagram and building consistency and frequency.
Yeah.
And I went in and I played with it, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't actually post for you.
Right.
I'm sorry. So I was like, forget this, and I moved on.
Do you like us better now?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously I sat through a live demo with what's his name? I forget his name right now, but I mean, he did a live demo and really helped me explain it. And it was funny because I was traveling. I was actually in my hotel in Syracuse, New York, so it was like I traveled.
Not too far.
No. But anyway, the point is that, yeah, the robustness of this, like, honestly, you know what? You know how I found you guys again?
How?
Wait a second. Wait a minute.
Show me.
I'm going to screen share, ladies and gentlemen, because let me leave this. This is the free site.
Yep.
Here's what I love. Let me go down. I forget how I found this, but it had scan your site.
The scanner. Yeah, this is our other freemium tool. So we have two.
I'm giving away all my trade secrets, people.
I love it.
So I'll just stick in my fiance's website.
This is a good one. So I'll explain it to while you type it in. So remember how I did those marketing audits for those 20,000 companies?
Uh-huh.
This is what I did for them by hand. And it took me months. I mean, I had a bunch of...
The only thing I don't understand is, what are these 3 boxes for? Is it asking for my information? Or
yeah, so it's a lead gen tool. So you put it in here and we call you, right? Like, which is what we did.
Yeah.
There you go.
If I share this, because I already tell people.
Okay, so we're going to go out to your website and we're going to do a marketing audit. Usually this would cost you between $4,000 and $10,000 in 6 weeks. And we're doing it for free.
There we go.
So in exchange, you give me your email address, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at the consistency of the messaging of allpointsequine.com, starting with the search words. So we work with SEMrush to pull out the search words that companies are typing into Google to find this company. And you can see that the rank results aren't great. You want to be in the top 10 because that puts you on Google's homepage. So,
well, and my fiance is a chiropractor too. So.
Right. Yep. And the frequency is not so much either. So you want high frequency and you want to be in the top 10. And
I don't even know what this means.
Keywords, who knows? These words should jibe with what the company feels are the unique words that define them. Right.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a name of the person. There's lots of things that are your keywords. So then the next thing we do, this is so awesome, Scott, is we look at the namespaces and the URLs. So the titles that you put in when you create accounts on different social spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And we
want to make sure they all jive.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we actually only look at what's on your website, which is where your social channels should be. So if this website had LinkedIn or Twitter or anything else on their homepage, we would have pulled those namespaces and titles in here.
Yes, I've used this on some of my clients' sites, and there's usually more than this. I've never done this on my fiance's site. It's my first time looking at it.
Cool. She's going to love you.
Well, I mean, I keep telling them, like, legally, you don't need to mention LLC. But I'm not the one who set that page up. So,
and the reason is because people, me included, we're dumb. If we see stuff different in different places, we're like, is this the right place? Is
Right.
LLC, that's the same one as the .com? I don't know. Who knows? And Google and Bing are the same way. So then let's see, you're going to the messaging. So what we do first is we pull the header and metadata text from the website, which again is the text that Google and Bing pull first in a search. So if you click the plus sign to the right of your company website down below a little bit, scroll down. There you go. If you click that plus sign, it'll show you the text that we pulled. And then click the plus sign next to Facebook, next to the missing field on the right-hand side. So you can see that if you were to scroll up and down a little bit, you can see that the text doesn't match each other very well.
No.
And so we're giving them not a great grade on consistency there, plus missing
You're giving
fields.
me work to do.
Yeah, it's important though.
I got to fix this up. Yeah. Again, this was all created before me, and I've been trying to clean up the mess from the last guy. So, but this is good.
That's always the case, right? I mean, this is a lot of agencies use this tool to show their customers why they need to hire the agency.
It's funny because she's getting a 10 out of 10 on design, and I'm not a fan of her design, but at least it's clean enough to pass your analysis.
Well, on the consistency is what she's getting a 10 out of 10 of. So if you page down, what we did was we took a guess at the color codes.
Yeah, I love that too. But that's a cool feature because a lot of people don't. I'll be honest. My original designer never told me what the color codes were of my logo.
Yeah,
and
you're screwed.
I forgot to follow up with him, and then the guy turned out to be an illegal mess, and there's a whole different story behind that. So I've had to have my logo redesigned multiple times to get as far away from his.
Oh my gosh!
Me because I didn't want to be guilty of theft or anything else. This was years ago. So, but I mean, and the funny thing is now I tell people it's important to know your color codes because it comes down to your print work. A hat that you're wearing, like I'm wearing with my logo on it, you got to know your colors.
Exactly. I got to hire you to sell for me. You're so good. Damn it. And so then if there were other accounts, again, we'd pull all of the logos and images from the social accounts here.
You see this little warning?
Yeah.
This is because Facebook launched that you can set up an album of rotating images in your cover image.
Oh.
A lot of people, and it doesn't display right on the mobile app, but it does on the home. So I currently they have multiple images set up, and I've been testing that, and I'm thinking I'm going to go back and just have an indigenous photo, and that's it. So
yeah, you can't do a story. Is that it? Okay.
No, it's not a story. It's like the core, cover image. You can now have an album of rotating images.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I don't know why that is. That's so weird. Anyways, that's good. I'm going to tell the guys that too. So maybe they can adjust that a little bit. So then some, results of what, how you can kind of fix what you need to do and why it's important.
I like the fact you actually give recommendations. It's not, you're not just giving them data. And this is what impressed me. I was like, you guys let me get this for free? This is awesome. So,
that's so nice. Oh, that's so validating.
See, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, in your sales process, you have to give to get. So when you want people on your email list, you give them an e-guide or something powerful to give away. You give away some of your best stuff so they can see how cool you are.
It's true.
And now you've hooked them in and you've started building the relationship. So
what I learned was so I didn't say this, but somebody else told me that you make them feel guilty by giving them so much for free that they become your customers and then they never leave.
Why do you think I'm sharing that honestly right now? Because I ran 10 reports. And then when I finally set up the call and I'm like, all right, I got 10 reports out of that. I didn't bill for them.
That's so funny.
But I will admit, when I went through and converted it to a PDF document, I made sure I took your logo off because I was I just want to make sure. I mean, it still took me time to do an analysis on this and stuff.
Yeah.
And they still need me to translate what it all means. But yeah.
That's cool. By the way, we do the scans. We can make them look custom for you when you're a customer.
So now I could do that better. So there we go.
Okay, cool. That's awesome, Scott. Thank you so much. That was great.
Well, I am a perfect example of what you just explained. I was like, if I see something that's amazing, I want to see if there's a way that I could take full advantage of it. And then if I can incorporate it into my business to benefit my customers, then yes, let's do that. So
thank you.
Why recreate the wheel? I can't do what you've done. I'm sure if I gave myself 5-10 years, I might be able to figure it out. But why? I could just repurpose it. So
Yeah, right. Exactly. Wow, that's so great because, as you know, this I know as well as an entrepreneur, sometimes my head is, you'd ask me when we first got on the phone today, like, how's your day? And I was like, well, and it's because my
You
day
do seem
isn't
a little
just,
overwhelmed. So
yeah, it's
yeah.
not just making a product that works and that people love, but it's also fundraising and, that's a big part of my life. And,
Yeah, because didn't you hint you guys are angel invested, right?
we're angel invested. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're actually doing our first institutional round right now, which is a different kind of conversation that I'm learning how to have.
Mm.
And, the runway is short. So we're flying by the seat of our pants, and Christmas is coming. And I actually had my customer
Hey, if
success
you were
rep.
crowdfunding, I'd be all over that.
Oh,
So
man, I know, right?
I
It's, who
love
knows,
crowdfunding.
possible. It is so cool. Um,
I just helped somebody win a crowdfunding campaign.
did you really?
Yeah, my
Oh,
first time. Well, he
that's
called me. He's
amazing.
like, Scott, I know nothing about social media. I need you to run that and jump on the team and help us figure out this Indiegogo thing. So I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I like them. Indiegogo's cool.
Yeah. I've done more Kickstarters as a consumer than Indiegogo, but I
Well,
just love the power of you can't beat a more proven concept, right? But it's kind of hard to do that in the software world. I've never really dug into that.
agree.
So
Yeah. So secrets revealed. Like, so we'll build we'll build templates for Kickstarter, Indiegogo people
nice.
coming
Okay.
soon. Yeah, because it's the same way. It's the same map every time,
Mm-hmm.
and we
It's already
have the
proven. You just got to repurpose it for that product, that service, that mission that you're trying to
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And to be fair, just to close the loop there, so the generator that we showed people in the scanner, so lately lures you in with those things, but then we automatically organize all the pieces so that you can plan with other people like a marketing agency does. You can have everything in the same place. You see all your analytics in a way that doesn't make you feel dumb, which is something that marketers do feel constantly. Even people like you and I know what we're doing.
I
Marketing
tell
can
people all the time,
feel
that's
dumb.
the definition of entrepreneurship is that you're going to keep making mistakes. That's what makes it better. I mean, if you're not
Yeah,
making mistakes, number one, you're doing it wrong. Number
totally.
two, how are you supposed to make it better if you didn't screw up? So
Right. And it's okay to make mistakes, but you shouldn't be made to feel like an idiot, which I think is, I know that's what HubSpot, Hootsuite, they do make you feel that way, which is
yeah,
like,
I tried getting into Hootsuite. Even everybody was doing it years ago, and I'm like, I don't like you. So I stayed manual.
you're
I
so
stayed.
funny. Wow.
Yours is the first platform for my own content that I'm going back onto, and I'm looking to automate content on
That's
because I just
amazing. We got to get you a session with one of my dudes to make sure that you can rock it.
well that's why like I'm not I do want to roll this out to as a service. I've never thought about it, but I just love how nice it is. But the problem is I don't want to do that until I'm confident with it, and
Sure.
I
Yeah.
want to see it execute. I don't need to see it, going for the next 6 months on my content, but I got to at least bang it out for like a nice solid 30-day period so I can tweak and learn from it and what I like and don't like. And then I can work with you guys to replicate it. So
Well, here's a tip for you is every Tuesday we do a thing called office hours, and it's open to the public, not only our customers. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern,
yes,
and
I
we
keep
go
missing
over
them.
one feature. They stream too, so you can watch it. I watch it when I'm doing my
I'm
exercise.
guilty of that. I haven't made time to go back and watch it. Because you do
But
email me afterwards saying, hey guys, if you missed it, here's the thing.
yeah, just
Yeah.
do it. And Lauren is really super great. And the reason is because it's just like QuickBooks. Like QuickBooks is amazing, but you have to put in a little to get out a lot, right?
Yeah.
So once you just get in the habit of putting in a little bit to lately, you will be stunned because we are learning how to communicate what we do. It's really difficult, and we're not that good at it. It's the bane of my existence, but that's why these office hours are so powerful for our customers because they're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and this, wow. So
But see, I spent years in corporate training too, and years as a ski race coach, CrossFit coach, spinning and cycling coach.
you're
Like
so amazing.
I don't know about that,
What do they
but
call you, Renaissance man? Like what's is
I
that the
have
term?
somebody has told me that one time. I'm like,
There
why?
you go.
I am not a Renaissance man. I'm 41 years old. But yes, I could run a chainsaw like a surgeon, and I'm proud of it. So.
That is impressive.
We can thank our tax dollars for that when I was a wildland firefighter. That's all government training right there.
Oh
So.
my gosh, you're just getting started, I can tell, in your life.
It's called never stop. So
Never stop.
life's
Never
about new
stop.
experiences. So
That's incredible.
that's why I love what you guys are doing, because
Thank you.
it's so edgy, but yet not. Like this stuff's all been here.
Yeah.
You figured out a way to aggregate what everybody else is doing or everybody else wish they were doing. I don't know.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's bigger than can I share my screen?
Absolutely. You should have, did I make you a co-host? Like on
I don't
the
know.
Zoom? Let's find out. Yeah. Multiple participants can
share.
Yeah.
So,
go. What you got? No, we're doing all kinds of fun screen sharing here for the audio watchers. She's got, oh, wow, reinventing the way companies do marketing. There you go. Oh, hold on. You muted yourself, though. If you can hear me, you have to unmute yourself. It was fun watching your reaction just now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch this on YouTube because it's super fun. But we all make mistakes. For some reason, I think she might have either bumped mute, or I don't know why that made you mute yourself. Let me make you a co-host.
I don't know.
That was weird.
Okay, now I'm back, right?
Yeah, you're back now. So it muted you when you screen shared.
That's so weird. I don't know why it did that.
I've had people screen share before.
Yeah, bizarre.
You're a co-host now. Try it again.
Did it work now? Am I screen sharing now?
Not right now.
Well, forget it. I don't want to mess it up again. I'll just tell you.
I don't care. We're trial and error.
So the idea is that we're pulling back the black curtain of marketing the same way QuickBooks did for accounting, right? So we touched on that earlier.
Okay.
So people like me who are fiction writing majors can actually do my own books, right?
Yeah.
That's number one. But also, if you think about it like this, so when I did those 20,000 audits for Walmart, what I saw was all these patterns that kept coming up that people were doing. Similar, how do we just talked about Kickstarter and Indiegogo? It was the same thing. Everybody was wanting to do the same thing. Right. And so I broke down the system into a series of processes, and then lately is the tools that unites the processes into sync. So the idea here is more along the Salesforce idea, right? So when Salesforce came to town, they said, these are the processes every company, no matter what size or what they're selling, must sell. And we all thought they were crazy.
Oh, I've been using Salesforce for years with my one client.
And so now here we go. So that's what we're doing it as lately as well, is we're saying it doesn't matter what you're marketing, what size company you are, these are the best practices everybody should be doing.
Yeah, so you're building a replicatable SaaS solution.
Yeah, and it's an $83 billion market. There's not very many of those left anymore. So we're looking to democratize an entire space. This is some jargon, but
no, I'm excited by that because, like I said, I've been using Salesforce for years, and my friend / client / contract that I contract for, she literally built her own Salesforce within the Salesforce.
Wow.
They have a feature called Partner Portal.
Oh yeah.
So she built her own partner portal.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because she would reach out to have somebody do the code, and they're like, oh, that's $30,000. So for the next 30 days, she just figured out how to do it herself, and then built it. And she's been doing this for years. So I keep telling her, I was like, Jen, you need to take that and build it into a mirroring package that you can then sell to other, because she's a manufacturer's sales rep agency.
Wow.
I was like, Jen, you can just take that and just copy and paste and just, there you go, and then sell that. Because there's other sales rep firms out there, because her industry is HVAC.
Okay.
So she represents like 10 different manufacturers because they don't want to have their own salespeople. They outsource to regional sales reps.
Sure. Yeah.
But we come across sales reps all the time like, ooh, you're using Salesforce? That's expensive. I'm like, yeah, it is. But what are you using?
Right, exactly.
None.
It's more expensive not to use it. Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's what you guys are doing. You're saying, hey, guys, we've done the research. We've acquired the data. We figured out what everybody else is doing. Something like Indiegogo, right? There's been enough Indiegogo campaigns launched and succeeded that you have the data. All you got to do is figure out how to aggregate it and then build it into a replicatable platform and then plug people into it.
Yeah. And it's interesting because someone will say to me, well, $50 a month, something like that. I don't know if I can afford that. I'm like, you can't afford not to. It's like, I'm going to give you back 8 hours a week right away. That's what I'm doing. How much is your time worth?
You know why I ponied up? Because I'm guilty to spending money, but I
love you.
I sat through the webinar and I'm going through it and I'm like, all right, I'm still manually doing my own content. And but I'm automating a lot of stuff for other people. So, and I use Aweber for the email marketing platform. They tried hiring me years ago. And I was like, guys, like, I'll just be an affiliate. I recommend them. I move my clients on Aweber all the time. I've been using it. I run my fiance's veterinary email. I just did one last week, a blast for her. That's my content. I've been trying to teach them to do more content updates. They don't want to. They don't want to bother their customers. Whole different argument. The point is that I was like, okay, as I grow, I was like, I don't want to have to worry about my content because my brand still matters. If you take it all else away, you can't let your core brand fall away. And I find that's happened a lot for a lot of sales and marketing agencies out there, is that they focus so much on the customer, they're not growing their stuff as well.
Shoemaker has no shoes. Yep.
So it's like, okay, if that's not a selling point, I don't know what is.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least take care of yourself. Oh, and then while you're doing that, which is my game plan, it's like, oh, here's all the hacks I did for myself. Now I just do it for everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. Boy, are you sure you're not for hire?
I am always for hire as a contractor. So.
You're amazing. Well, we should.
As I told you before, I was like, I've been like you're part of your story. We are like from Piece of the Pod. It's like people keep telling me like, Scott, why don't you just take that job and the salary? And I said, no, like
you're a wild horse.
I can't anymore.
Yeah.
You can thank the wildland firefighting for that. Like that 2-year hiatus, leaving the corporate space and going and being one of the elite hotshots, which is my book. You asked earlier, but you want to hear more about that. It's like, that's
elite hotshots. Cool.
The book's going to be about that. Like serving, going from, farm kid to corporate monkey to saying, going back, making myself go back to school, do the BS in marketing, studying psychology, then leaving it all behind to go be a firefighter to see if that's what I was meant to do.
You're a superstar, man. Wow.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
I want to write a book about that because I'm tired of people saying from the podcast, like, oh, you should write a book about that.
You're like, oh, okay.
So, and hopefully inspire other people to take those risks. And so, yeah, it's a story about my journey, but the takeaways are, dude, just get on board. Like, just take the risks because it's going to keep being a pain in your ass the rest of your life anyway. So the more you start putting in the reps now, the easier it gets later.
Yeah, it's true. I find it debilitating personally, which is why for me, what's the greater pain? Not really knowing exactly when my next paycheck is coming or working for a-holes.
Well, the other best part is that is like, when you got to hold yourself accountable for your income, like you already did before as a W-2.
Yeah.
It was kind of a crutch, right?
It's totally different.
Like, okay, you got to step up every single day. That was the biggest wake-up call for me, was once you get off of the gravy train, so to speak, it's like, all right, man, put up or shut up. So
it's huge.
It's stressful.
Yep, it is, but different kind of stress though.
Yeah.
Now I have 20 other people that I have to be accountable for at the same time. Like my mom, we took a company picture and put it on Facebook, and my mom was like, do those people all rely on you for their income? And I was like, yes. Yeah. And she's like, your job must be really stressful. And I'm like, yes.
But the difference is also, it's like because I've built many teams over the years, I've managed 20, 30, 40 person teams. And it's like,
incredible.
When you build a great team,
they're super.
You tie it back to sports. Like, again, it's just like when you have that right community.
It's all about them.
That's why I'm a CrossFit coach. I love CrossFit too. Like, people don't understand CrossFit. They think it's some kind of like cult. I'm like, no, it's a community.
Right.
And when you see that level of loyalty, when you're ready to start running a charity workout event and you have no problem having plenty of volunteers to help run the event. Now, in the paid world, trying to get people to show up and help you run an event, and I'm willing to pay you. And then I can run any charity workout I want. I run a fallen firefighters workout every single year.
Wow.
To help people remember the fallen hotshots, and because I thought that's my tribute. And I run that every year. Even if it's only like 50 people who come work out, I have plenty of volunteers to help run that event.
Amazing.
We're selling shirts, everything else. I'm like, that's community, right?
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's
It's free marketing too. Word of mouth is easy. Boom. Everybody's sharing.
Yeah, we just had our annual offsite actually on Friday. And so it's so weird because it's at a time when like, it's right it's the time of year where we're short on runway, and so I literally say to people, can you take half salary for a little while, right? So, lots of entrepreneurs have had to do this. This is part of the deal. I have done it before, and it's embarrassing. It's hard to do, but it's what we have to do to keep the company going, right?
Yeah.
And so here we are. Part of the reason that they say yes is because we built that community. They like working here. They like being a part of what we're building, like that trust, that loyalty. It's all intertwined. And
yeah, but part of your story is the company though too, Kate. So it's like kind of we glossed over very, very quickly, but your impairment, or I don't know if you want to officially call it, is it officially called a handicap, right? Your hand.
It's a partial permanent disability is the term. Yeah.
So before we even started this up today, you're talking about how you're obsessed with the whole voice transcription technology, right? Because that's literally helped you grow your future, your career, everything.
I use Dragon Naturally Speaking for folks who are listening 100 full-time. I'm a full-time user. So I don't type at all, except when I do like half an hour of exercises every day so I can do a couple demos without a lot of pain.
Sure.
Because I have to. But what's amazing is I'm still talking for a living. So this mic, the reason when you were like asking me in your questionnaire, like, do you have a high quality mic, blah, 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 I'm like, yes, I do, because I live with this thing, you know? But
you'd be surprised who shows up and people are using their iPhone headsets. I'm like, guys, I'm trying to make you sound good. It's a podcast. I just want you to sound good.
It's important. So what's amazing to me is that when you hear an email come out of your mouth, you write it differently. Like I have a lot more smiley faces in my writing now, because otherwise I just sound like kind of a bitch. But and I don't react to stuff anymore because it has this filter that it's going through. But yeah, it also made me really more sympathetic. Obviously, I was working at the National Disability Institute when this started becoming a part of my life. So I had a new understanding of how people who I was meeting, paraplegics, people who are blind, who use JAWS, which is another kind of software, like how are they communicating with the world?
Like JAWS?
Yeah, JWS, yeah.
I want to make sure these are going to be put in the show notes because you're name dropping kind of cool stuff. And the other one's called Dragon what?
Dragon Naturally Speaking is the software, which is actually the software behind Siri. Siri's not nearly as good.
No, Siri sucks.
She sucks. I don't know what's up with that.
I've heard great things about Dragon.
Dragon is amazing. I've been using this for almost 10 years now. I'm an expert. I coach other people on how to use it. It's like using a language. You have to learn it and teach it, really. So.
Oh, wait, we can't skin over that. You coach other people on this. You take your condition that seriously, that you're trying to get back to others, or?
Yeah, because this is a life changer. You think your whole life is over, and it's very scary. And people helped me. People were really kind to me. So yeah,
let's think about it. I've got two hands. I'm taking my arms and my hands for granted, right?
Yeah.
Like, not to bring the show down, but our 10-year-old English red tick coonhound, we just found out has cancer because he started limping, and we put him in to have his elbow looked at, and we found out there's no cartilage left in the elbow. And then they're like, okay, well, so we just figured he had a bad leg, and they decided to take some samples, send to a lab. Now we find out it's cancer, and we're sitting here to find out what kind of cancer. Because if it's just in that elbow, we don't have kids. I told Babe, I was like, whatever. I was like, I can always make more money. We're taking the leg. He's going to become like the most athletic tripod coonhound ever. I'm gonna Instagram the crap out of him and celebrate his successes if I have to.
Funny.
So yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Fantastic.
But that's like, we take these things for granted.
We do. Yeah, I always say that's one of the best things about getting injured is that you kind of relearn or revalue your body parts when you're doing physical therapy and all those things, which I think is really good. But yeah, for me, it's a way of life now. And it's hard. One thing you do notice is accommodations. Like I don't look like there's anything wrong. And in the grand scheme of things, like, thank God I have my arms and things like that. People are worse off, of course. But you start to realize like how hard. So like for me, it takes me half an hour just to do what I need to do to operate my phone. Just like you do. But there's other people who are in a wheelchair, for example. It takes them 2 hours to get out of bed every day. Can you imagine?
I mean, I will be airing. I'm sorry. I just had an interview with him this weekend, a gentleman from England, and he's blind, or sorry, he's going blind. So he's been slowly degrading due to retinal pigmentosa. and he's got 5% of his vision left.
It's terrifying.
And then I've had another guy on, a really well-known blogger by the name of Maxwell Ivey. His site is called theblindblogger.net. He and I have spoken at a couple of podcast conferences as well on stage, and he's got all this software. Like he's got software to help him translate. Like the first time we did a podcast, he wasn't used to screen sharing because I do video, and it was so I was screen sharing, and all of a sudden I hear a voice in the background. He's got this tech that reads whatever's on the screen.
Yeah, that's the jaws.
I start screen sharing a different website, and it's reading what I'm sharing, and he had to like turn it off. It was, again, learning process, right?
The screen reader. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I went to the Pentagon actually when I first had this, and at the time I saw all the cutting edge tools. Like they have these dots that you put on your forehead for people who are paraplegics that with a laser they can operate the computer.
It's so cool.
Yeah. It was really interesting. Yeah. So, life gives you lemons and it's what you do with it. Right. And this is what I did with it. See, that's inspiring. I love sharing messaging like that because I've met countless people over the years suffering from depression, and I've had depression in my own family, and I tell people all the time, like, life is what you make of it. And if anybody hearing this can like just get a little bit more kick in the ass to say, okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get over this. I don't want to be hearing about depression going that far. Right. Right. Yeah. It's a necessary, I had a short bout of depression years ago from a breakup, and I didn't like going through it. And I went and tried taking the antidepressants, and I hate drugs. I'm a health nut. And going through that, I didn't like feeling weak. Right. And I was like, what do I got to do to learn from this, build myself stronger, more resilient, and to make sure that doesn't happen again? Yeah, there's always a way. I really believe in that, no matter how down and out you are. And granted, we live cushy little lives here, Scott, compared to a lot of people in the world. Yeah. So it's hard to totally really first world problems. Sorry. Yeah, they are. But I certainly know people who've had really just some of my aunt lost her 3 children in a fire, right? So that's a horrible thing. And she's this superwoman. And she came out of that, like an amazing, brilliant someone that people look up to, a mentor, an idol, even for many people. I literally have goosebumps you saying that. Yeah, she's pretty. Fire stories get me all. Not really fired up. I guess chilled out, so to speak, because I get anyways, I talked to her actually a lot because I'm like, wow, what you've done with your life, you've inspired so many people. What am I doing? And she's like, you can't think like that. You have to understand that even what you're doing, like whether it's the podcast that you're creating by telling other people about cool stuff you like, Scott, or the book that you're going to be writing about the hot shots, or me with Lately, or telling our stories here today, like if we can just change one course of a life to improve, then it sounds so corny and cheesy, but it is. I mean, that's the game. No, to tie this full circle, I almost feel like there's so many things I could spend money on. This is the space that I have chosen, right? And it's like, okay, well, you're just re-solidified my purchasing experience, because it's like, wait a minute. I chose to launch a podcast because I was consuming podcasts for years, and I eventually realized I had my own voice, and I wanted to help other people share their voice. Well, now let's tie that full circle with Lately. Like, it's my responsibility, because I tell people all the time that they have to increase their frequencies of email marketing. They have to increase their social media, because you have people to get through to. And thanks to Facebook algorithms and everything else, you're not always in their news feed, which is why you have to increase your frequency and not feel guilty about touching your list. So it's like, I'm telling people all this, and it's like, this is my responsibility to use tools like Lately so I can get my messaging across more often, more consistently, and in the right way. That is brilliant. I'm totally stealing that, because we are giving people the ability to have a voice at scale. Damn it. You're so good. Sorry. That is very good. No, I was saying. When this goes live, you could download the file and just chunk this one little piece out. Well, we're going to run it through the generator. That's what we're going to do, man. Can your generator chunk video too? Yeah, so right now it'll be actually automated in the product that we actually do it for you in like about a month or so. But right now, I just give it to an intern and have her transcribe it.
There you go.
And then, I mean, it's our our own organic referrals are 56% of our total referrals.
Wow.
Like Hootsuite's are 5%, just to give you that's how it works.
Because they were alone for so long. And if you are on any best practices webinar, everybody's like, oh yeah, you want to share your social media, use Hootsuite and automate it. Like they've been there forever.
Right.
And you just got to you can only be up there for so long. And if you're not innovating, you're going to get replaced, or at least get some legit competition flowing. So. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, our $50,000 direct competitor, theirs is 0.4%. So it just shows, I mean, we're out to show people how to do it for free, right? That's just the jam, basically. Yeah. So,
and I still have a video on standby that I haven't published because of what's his name? The guy that I did a webinar with you guys. I said, hey, let me, because I recorded it. It was
it Asher? Call. Asher or Evan?
Might have been Evan. I think it might have been Evan.
Maybe
Evan. Ringing a bell. Anyway, okay. I recorded a Zoom call like this when I was in Syracuse. And I said, hey, if you get this approved, I'll put it on my YouTube channel so it's, new organic content for you guys to maybe share or use in your marketing or whatever.
Oh.
But he never got back to me on that. So.
It might have been.
Sure if it passed your allowances or something.
It might have been Taylor who was the head of sales I had to replace.
Oh.
So.
Maybe. Sorry.
I will look into that. That's okay.
Changes happen.
Change happens.
But no, I sent a link because I took the video and I stuck it on Google Drive and gave him a link to it so he can pass it.
Can you send it to me?
I can, yeah.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, well, I'll sort that right out for you.
So, and that was before I even bought your system. I was like, dude, I'm just happy. I thought it was so cool. I just want to get it out there.
You're so wonderful. Thank you. I mean, wow.
I'm not religious, but I do tell people like give more than you receive or whatever that saying is from the whole religion.
Oh yeah. So I totally do that too. I mean, I go to New York a lot for meetings, and I have a rule that every time I have a good meeting, I just walk out and hand someone $10 or $20 because
there you go. I like
karma.
That.
It's the karma.
Yeah. I do believe in that. The whole energy thing. We made fun of The Secret earlier, but there is that law of attraction.
It's true.
I probably give too much. I have a lot of charities I just keep giving to. And actually, here's something for you. I've gone to a powerful entrepreneurial event. I have to make sure you learn about this every single year, called Thrive, Make Money Matter.
Okay.
And it's getting bigger and bigger every year. They're bringing some world-class speakers, but the whole point of this conference, if you want to call it that, is the mission and the statement is to teach entrepreneurs how to make their money matter by teaching us to, and it got me to convert how my business was designed. So in the beginning, I decided to flip my business saying, okay, well, until I can figure out my budgets, I'm going to hard code 1% of all gross income to now go into a separate account that is for purpose. It has to be done, given away, fund charities, whatever. Now, every year now, my goal is to increase that percentage. So that way, as my business grows or any of my endeavors grow, that based on just basic mathematics, your percentage will grow. And you feel better about growing your financial success.
Do you have siblings? I just want to know, are there more of you in the world?
There is an older sister, younger brother, and they don't do anything that I do. So I am a freaking oddball. So I've been told anyway. So
that's amazing. Well, Scott,
I'm odd to a fault. So
you're great. I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. It's really
we ran long here. I apologize. This happens often, by the way. I try and keep it to under an hour. And ladies and gentlemen, this happens. Anybody's a regular subscriber to the show. We sometimes go long form. So
you got to go with it. It's authentic.
And I want to give you one last share. I know you're a big Dragon fan, but in case this benefits anybody you use, have you ever heard of Otter.ai?
I have heard of it.
I've been using this to write my book.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
Because I can't sit down and write. And it's not due to a physical impairment. It's due to my mental block of I'm such an audio guy.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So
these are
my dad needs
some of my chapters here. So I've already started all my chapters I've been writing out. Well, or I should say speaking out. So that way I have no excuse.
I'm going to thank you for reminding me of this software. My dad has a book in him that he always is trying to write, and he wants me to transcribe it for him. I'm like, Dad, I'm busy doing something else.
And that's just it. Since I travel a lot on business, I was like, wait a minute, if I'm in the car for an hour going to Philadelphia,
Might as well just
I
talk it
figured
out.
out that a 15-minute recording, I've already done the mathematics on this, a 15-minute recording at my range, I could bang out at least 1,000 words,
Wow. Yeah,
right?
there you go.
So it's
Done.
like, okay, there's an easy chapter right there.
It's
So,
easy. Yep.
yeah, so I had to remove my excuses.
That's yeah. You're touching on another subject, but clearly we could go on.
We can. I apologize.
Anyways,
So,
no,
but
don't apologize. You're an incredible human being. Thank you so much
you're
for.
an incredible human being. Come on, man. Like
Wow.
you're launching a company. You got 20 people. I'm afraid to even have it. People. I only want VAs. But well, listen, I want to give you a proper goodbye off the air because we do have to bring the show to a close. We can always do another because I've had repeat co-hosts before. But since you have such a powerful mission and we've talked so many powerful things today, I do ask my guest co-host to help close the show out by what are some final words that you would like to leave behind to our listeners?
Final words. Right. The final words are listen to your instincts, especially if you're a woman, because we have very good instincts, but we tend to ignore them the most. Because if you don't, they'll scream at you, and maybe you'll have pain or other things. And it's amazing how much your instinct really, it wakes you up in the middle of the night, right? And I find that I need to constantly be reminded that I know people invested in me because I know it's right here.
I love that. Gotta listen to yourself, people. Feel it. I love it. Hang tight. I want to give you a proper goodbye off the air.
Okay. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, seriously, I'm already a paid customer. So if that doesn't give you a reason why to try something, I don't know what is. But again, you want to check him out at trylately.com. I will screen share again. Trylately.com. I just happen to be sharing the How Lately Works page because if you don't understand what we explained today or showed you on the YouTube video today what this is, then go play with it yourself. Because we also showed you like 2 different ways to play with the stuff. Scan your site, get a clue about what you're doing, your branding. Clearly, I have a lot of work to do with my fiance's site. So further ado, thanks again for listening to another Live the Fuel podcast show. Again, check out trylately.com. Kate was another rock star guest co-host. And again, this is what we're all about, guys. We're here to fuel your health, your business, your lifestyle. We clearly did that today. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, all I can ask is that please share this with somebody else close to you, a colleague, a family member, a friend. Help them grow along with you. Thanks for tuning in. And again, you too can live the fuel.